Hey, happy weekend! We have some friends visiting this week, so we are off to our favourite jungle gym to do a workout. We're not even halfway through.
Oh, thank you.
Salt's required. You ready for your big breakfast? You got. Oh, that does look good. My food has finally arrived. So whilst weekday workouts are very much for efficiency, because you got to get them done and get to the day job, weekend workouts are for the big sessions. At the moment, I've really been trying to focus on engine building, so getting some of that higher intensity work or kind of more endurance type sessions done, which is always so much more fun when you've got company. That being said, you can't just batter yourself at the weekend and then expect to show up to work on Monday morning feeling easy breezy and good. That's just an absolute recipe for burnout. So recovery is super important. I like to try and take the philosophy of train hard, recover harder. So this week after our workout, we were off to do some contrast therapy. Today we are at the Ice Bath Club with Claire, and we've just finished doing some contrast therapy, so some cold plunge, some time in the sauna, and some time in the magnesium soak bath as well. So Claire, what do you like about ice bathing?
Usually helps me stay, I think, calm and focused. So I usually get it done earlier in the day. This week I've been around for a couple of days and able to experience the contrast therapy both in the morning and in the evening. So that's a different experience. Like in the morning it's more to be energized and wake up, and then in the evening it's more to help with sleep. So still getting a feel for muscular recovery, I think more mental training and mental resilience.
Yeah, that makes sense.
With knowing, knowing that the science behind it is that there's so many added benefits, like sauna for cardiovascular health. So yeah, it's just turned into a habit.
Yeah. I like what you said about the mental resilience.
Yeah.
Like for me, I find that that's always where I turn to ice baths, especially more so than contrast therapy, because I hate being cold. So the more I do trying to like just spend the time like tolerating the pain and tolerating being in that discomfort, I feel like the mental benefits are really big.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that when it comes to contrast therapy, we can tend to defer in what we prefer. So like, for example, you know, like Jay did really well with the ice baths, but struggled a bit more in the sauna, so was always the first to leave. Whereas like, you know, like my favorite is actually the salt bath.
Yeah.
So like I think we prefer different things and we're challenged by different things as well.
Yeah, makes sense.
So it's good for growth.
So when it comes to ice bathing or contrast therapy, there's loads of different protocols for different things, whether you want to feel more focused or more energized, whether you want it to help promote blood flow, better sleep, or if you are looking at it for recovery. There's still a lot of research being done, and I think the jury is out on the different responses between men and women. I hate being cold, and oftentimes if I've trained really hard or if I overtrained, I find that doing really cold ice baths has quite an aggressive kind of central nervous system response from me. Hell. This sucks. No, I'm done.
Okay.
You know, my shiver response kicks in really quickly and I just generally don't feel good after a session. So I prefer contrast therapy and going hot, cold, and using that to really flush out any of the kind of, you know, the toxins or the build-ups that have happened from the hard training, and also to kind of promote circulation and blood flow. And I do much prefer just being in the sauna or in, you know, a magnesium soak bath or something like that versus spending a lot of time in the ice bath. That being said, if I am doing competitions where it's maybe like one day with lots of things back to back, then I think jumping in the ice bath in between is really great. So a couple of years back, I did the Hyrox Singapore race in solos and then did the team relay that evening. And they had ice baths on site, which was amazing. So I sat in the ice bath in between the races. And that's good because it kind of stops you getting some of those initial breakdown, rebuild responses that your muscles go into after you've exercised. So it actually limits the circulation in the blood show, kind of, I guess, puts things into shock. I don't know, someone who's more scientific out there can maybe jump into the details a little bit more than I'm going to go into in this video, but can be really great to kind of hold things out if you're going to do a long day of competition. But if you are using it for recovery, for me, it's all about the contrast therapy. The thing I really like about contrast therapy is that I do find that I sleep better after I've done it, and you know, sleep is ultimately the best recovery hack that you're gonna get. You know, there's a reason why they say that athletes will go and get 7, 8, 9+ hours of sleep. So anything that can help boost that for you is super important. The other thing I quite like to do to boost sleep is I do have a pair of compression legs at home. Oftentimes I'll come back and I'll sit in the compression legs as I'm eating my dinner, which can be a little bit noisy, but it helps me really chill out. The graduated compression is the setting I like having it on. It kind of starts tight by your ankles and then moves up through your legs. And yeah, I always feel like really just kind of chill and sleepy after that. So quite a nice way to start my evening wind down. There's loads of other things that I could talk about in terms of tips and tricks and hacks and things that I've just kind of built into my daily lifestyle when it comes to promoting recovery. But that's it for now. So I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.